The last video we looked at how to output information to the screen, okay, and we talked about using the print keyword, the print function, okay, and we talked about the fact that you can just write print, and then to use the print function you have to give the computer some information, so you have to tell it what you want to print, okay. So in this case I put hello world, and I put it in quotes because that tells the computer where to stop and where to start and stop what you want to print, all right. Otherwise the computer doesn't know what you want to print, it doesn't know where it starts and where it stops. So that's why we use the quotes. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to move on a little bit, and we're now going to think about, well, how do I get information from the computer, or from the user? Sorry. So I'm going to ask the user a question, and I want to get them to input their answer. Okay, so for example, what I might do is I might want to know like what their name is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another function that's built into Python, which is the input function. Okay, so basically I'm going to use the word input. As you say, it changes color because it's a keyword. The computer knows it, okay, and recognizes it. All right, and like before, I'm going to use the brackets now. If I want the user to input something, okay, so I want them to tell me their name or their age or something similar, okay, if I want them to tell me something, I need to ask them a question. So, you know, if you wouldn't know to tell me your name unless I said to you, what is your name? Okay, so in the brackets here, I'm just going to put a prompt, which is going to come up on the screen. So I'm going to say like input, what is your name? All right, so I'm just asking the user to tell me what their name is. All right, and so that's really, really simple, isn't it? So if I run it, as you can see, it pops up and says, what is your name? All right, and then it waits. So the program hasn't ended yet, and the program is waiting for me to put in my name and then press enter, and then the program ends. Okay, so what I've managed to do is I've managed to get the computer to wait for me to input something, wait for the user to input something. Okay, now what I need to do now is I need to do something with that. Okay, so the question is, once I put my name in there, so it says John, yeah, what happened to John? Where did it go? Okay, and what we've got to remember is, and I say this lots of times, don't I, is that computers are really, really stupid. Okay, so because I haven't told the computer what to do with that name, okay, it's just disappeared. All right, so what I've got to do as a programmer is I've got to say, well, okay, what do I want? What do I want the computer to do with that name? Well, what I want the computer to do with that name is I want it to store it. I want it to remember it, because I want it to remember it so that I can use it later on. Okay, so the way to get it to remember it is just to create a variable. Okay, now variables are just areas in memory. Okay, and so they're just used to store things. So for example, I'm going to create a variable. I'm going to call that variable name. Okay, and that's it. So now what I've done is I've just told the computer. I've said, okay, the user's going to input something. Okay, I want you to tell them that I want you to print this question, what is your name? Okay, and I want you to wait until they input something, and when they input something, I want you to store what they input in a variable called name. Okay, now if we run this now, okay, what is your name? John. Still doesn't do very much, all right, but now the important bit is we've remembered the name, so I can now go print. Let's see what happens if I go print hello. All right, and then let's see what happens if I try adding the name. Okay, and look, these two match. So you called your variable name, so that I said to you that that's where my name will be stored. So the name will be stored in a variable called name. So now every time I want to refer to what the user input, I just write the word name. Okay, so if I try that and I run that, I input my name. Okay, now it says hello John. Okay, so what I want you to do is just have a play with, try a couple of things. So what happens if I try putting a number at the start here? So if I run, all right, so you can't do that, all right? So variable names can be anything you want. I can change this to X if I want, okay? But they just can't begin with numbers, all right? But if I change it obviously up here, all right, what happens if I change that? So I've changed the name of the variable to X, okay? Now I get an error because now the computer doesn't know what name is. Well, the computer doesn't know what name is because I've changed the variable name now. I changed it to X. So this just becomes from name, it goes to X. Okay, I run it. Everything works again. Okay. Just like so. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you in your task to build a sequence of input statements that ask a series of questions of the user, and then create some nice responses. Go crazy. See if you can make it look like the computer is having a conversation with you. Okay.